Hi, today I'd like to introduce you to the Vangaurd. The Vangaurd is not made anymore, but the program on it is called MinSpeak, and it's used on a lot of devices still today.
Okay, there are 4 rules to the MinSpeak program that help you kind of work through it and figure out how to use it correctly. The first rule is that there are simple pictures that can show you all the core vocabulary. So if you click on one, it can lead to another word, and so on. But all your main core vocabulary is right here on the screen. The second rule is that MinSpeak pictures mean more than one thing. So if you click on apple, it can mean apple or bite or hungry, or sometimes they say they can mean, like if they associate with an Apple computer. So it can mean a lot of different things, which means it gives you a very wide variety of vocabulary to choose from. Okay, rule 3 of MinSpeak is that MinSpeak puts pictures together into code words. So you have Mr. Action Man, which is this guy right here. He's got a pail and a hammer, and he represents all the verbs. So all these green ones are verbs. And then you have Mother Hubbard, which is over here. She's the little lady with the cupboard. And she is a noun, so they're thing words. And those are both those brownish colored ones. And then you have the paintbrush, which is adjectives, which are describer words. So you could say hungry. So like I said before, apple, you click on the apple, it means a lot of different things. So you click on the Action Man, it says eat.
Eat.
And then if you want a noun, you'd say food, which is Mother Hubbard.
Food.
And then if you wanted an adjective, you'd click on hungry, which is the paintbrush.
Hungry.
So those are just simple examples of how to use those 3. Okay, the 4th rule of MinSpeak is that the codes follow simple patterns. So the example we use with the apple can be the same for anywhere. So you can click on this snail right here, and it still comes up with the Mr. Action Man and the paintbrush. This one there isn't a Mother Hubbard because it doesn't apply to this one, but the concepts are the same no matter where you go. So you can click on the snail and then slow, which is the paintbrush. So no matter what you go into, you can always access the same amount of words and action, verbs, etc. Okay, so we're just going to go over some of the buttons that are on the home page. First of all, this is your clear button. So if you type in anything and you decide you don't want it, like that's not grammatically correct because you have to start with something else, so you can just press the clear button and it'll clear everything even if you have a whole sentence. These are the quick buttons at the top, so you can press anything and it will bring up a lot of different things that you can push.
What's your phone number?
So you didn't have to find every word in this sentence. You just press those 2 buttons and it brought up the question to ask someone. And here's the clear button again. Also, if you go into a page and you decide you don't want to be there, you can click this button and it will go back and delete that icon there so that you don't come up with a word that you don't want to use. Also, these buttons are your be verbs, add s, add ing, add ed, add en, your to button, add er, add est, and then also quick words that you can add, and, the, a, and then add s. So if you wanted to say game,
games,
you can just make it plural really easily by clicking the s. And that is a basic knowledge of the homepage. Also, these yellow buttons over here are all pronouns. This means you, this is I, they, and so on. These black and white buttons are grammar buttons. So if you push on them, it brings up a bunch of different grammar options. This button is your that button, that, that'll, that'd, etc. And this button is your preposition, so on, about, around, and so on. And that is a basic knowledge of the main page.
Okay, another important option to note is the icon tutor up in the right-hand corner. If we push that, we have the option to type in a word to find it, in case you can't find it otherwise. So if I wanted to say please, I would just type it in and push OK. and it shows me the buttons that I would take to do that, so I can go back to the MinSpeak page and find those buttons. The other option that is important to know is this button up here, which is Settings. If we go to this, the buttons up here allow you to modify your buttons and your pages to make it more personal to your student. You can adjust the speaker volume and the voice. You can also click this button which says Go to Spell, and it gives you a keyboard for students who have the ability to spell. They can just type out their sentences. And another important option over here is Selection Technique menu, where you have the option to switch different selection techniques. So right now we're at keyboard, but you can also do one switch, two switch, head pointing, or a joystick.
For those kids who need an alternate selection technique, you can use a switch, which is a really good option. You just plug it in on this side, and then you can use the other side and plug it into the device on this side of the device. So in order to set it up, like we said earlier, you need to go to the Settings, and then right here on the right there's the Selection Technique menu. And then you click until it says one switch, and then you click OK. And then it'll bring you back to the main page. In order to start the scanning, you have to click the switch, and it'll just scan. And then you click on the row you want, and you select each icon that you want.
U,
And it'll just scan from row and then
R,
each individual button after you select the row that you want. And it makes the beeping noise, so in case they need to know how many over they're going, then they can.
happy,
And after you type in your whole sentence, you gotta wait, and it'll scan all the way down, and then in order to say the whole sentence, it'll come back up here, and you
you
click
are
on it.
happy.
And that's the scanning mode.
We hope this has helped you determine whether or not MinSpeak is a good option for your student based on his or her communication needs. And we hope you've enjoyed our video. Have a great day.